2DB Media.
Barber World TV. What's up, world? It's your boy Zoe Mega Millions. I'm here, episode number 2. And it's a special episode for me because I'm sitting with a real good friend, a colleague, and someone that I've admired since a little youth in the barber game. Celebrity barber, Denny Moe Mitchell, also the owner of Denny Moe's Superstar Barbershop. Welcome to Barber World TV, the podcast.
What up, baby? It's good to be here, man. I heard you say it's the second one, huh?
Yes.
Oh, man, I'm usually the first one, man. You know, before me there was none, after me there'd be no more, you know what I mean? But I'm just happy to be here, man, with my boy Zoe. You know, I feel real comfortable in this interview, man. I did a lot of interviews where I was a little shaky, you know what I'm saying? But I'm here with my boy, so I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make this thing right.
Yeah, and just to clear that up, episode 1 was me just explaining what the podcast was about. So technically, you are my first interviewee. Okay?
That's right. Denny Moe, before me there was none, after me there'll be no more.
You got to start at the top, brother. You know,
that's right.
Good thing I got these kind of connections.
Hey, man.
So Denny Moe, let's start from the beginning, man. Briefly tell us where you're from, how'd you come to barbering, and let's just get into the beginning.
The beginning, wow. Well, first of all, I'm born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, lived in the Bronx, and worked in Manhattan. I'm all boroughs. I'm a native New Yorker. You know, fell in love in Central Park and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I you know, was in North Carolina, man. Young cat running around, 14, 15 years old. You know, and I was going to a party. And haven't been to a party in a long time, and you know, back then we weren't as well to do as we are now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have a whole lot, you know, but I wanted to look good just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I was going through my mother's drawer looking for something. Till this day, I can't really remember what I was looking for, but I found my life. I found my future in that drawer.
And what was that?
I picked up a pair of clippers. I was like, wow, what is this? You know, opened up the box, brand new pair of clippers. I didn't even know my mom had clippers. She was a hairstylist and everything, but I didn't know she had any clippers. So I just took them out of the box, and they felt real good in my hand. And I went over to the mirror, picked my hair out, and I started cutting my hair, and I did a damn good job. At least I think I did. And when I got to the party, I got rave reviews, man. Everybody was, yo, D, who cut your hair? Who cut your hair? Who cut your hair? And I was like, I did it. You know, they're like, get out of here, you know. So the next day I was going to the store for my mom, and I ran into one of my neighbors, and he also complimented me on my haircut like a day later. So I was like, wow, must be something to it, you know. And he asked me, he said, yo, if you can cut your hair that good, you can cut me and my son better.
All right, so question. 1, your haircut was looking good a day later. So did you sleep hanging off the bed?
Actually,
I'm
no,
assuming that was it an afro? Was it a Caesar?
It was an afro. Back in the day, they had the huge
right?
afro, you know.
And the other thing is, what did your mom ever say about you taking the clippers, and did she just give them to you after that?
Well, you know what? I don't think we've even talked about it. I don't even know if she knew I used them. You know what I'm saying? Once the gentleman asked me to cut him and his son, I thought about it. I said, yeah, I can do that. You know, I went to his house. I cut the hair. We had a good time, talking, laughing, having a good time, you know. And I thought nothing of it. I just put the clippers back in the drawer. That's it. It's over with. Boom, you know. And then I got a knock on the door 2 weeks later. Same guy. He wanted me to come and cut his son and himself again. And then it dawned on me, wow, I like this. I kind of enjoy this. You know what I'm saying? So I really, really, you know, started asking my boys, yo, you want me to cut your hair? You want me to cut your hair? And that's how I got started, man. And I'll tell you a story real quick. I used to be afraid to tell people that I was a barber because the simple fact that I had a girlfriend that I adored, that I admired her so much, and she was just beautiful, you know what I mean? She was from Florida, but she was in North Carolina at the time. And she one day I'm going to look for it. I can't find it nowhere. You know, I'm dead in the middle of my career of being a barber. You know, and but I didn't know that. I didn't know what I was doing. I was enjoying myself. You know, so like a guy got out on the basketball court and play basketball. He doesn't think about being a basketball star until later on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was doing my thing. I'm looking for. I can't find her anywhere, man. And I finally found her. She asked me. She said, with an attitude, you know, you plan on being a barber all your life? I'm like, I don't know, you know. I never thought about it, you know. And I worked in the barbershops, and first of all, I was too young to be in the barbershop.
Okay.
So the barber inspector came through, shut me down, you know, stopped me from doing the very thing that I love to do.
How did that go? Were you in someone else's shop, or were you in your own shop?
I was in someone else's shop.
Singled you out.
I was in someone else's shop in North Carolina. What the problem was, I was wanted by 4 barbershops, you know, because everybody was talking. I was the talk of the town. Everybody was talking about Denny Moe. I mean, this guy cutting hair. I wasn't Denny Moe at the time. This guy was going around everybody's house cutting hair. The barbershops is empty now. You know what I'm saying? So now everybody want me. So I go to the shop that I was working in, and the other shop's called the barber inspector. Yeah, he's too young to be working in the barber shop, you know, because I told them all I was only a certain age. You know?
And how old were you?
I was 15.
15.
Yeah. So it was hilarious, man, because they took me to court, the whole nine.
Really?
Yeah, North Carolina, you don't have nothing else to do. They took me to court. I had to pay fines, court costs, and all kind of stuff, man. And they told me I couldn't, you know, I was too young to cut hair in the barbershop. So
that's crazy
that
that
is
they would
crazy.
stop a young kid from doing something positive.
Yeah.
I mean, they could at least say, listen, we love what you're doing. Give yourself a little time. Here's the school you need to go to, and so on and so forth.
I mean, they did all that, you know
Okay.
what I'm saying? But I'm eager now. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So here I am walking down the railroad track kicking rocks. You know what I'm saying? So my aunt comes down to visit. She comes back. She comes from New York to visit, and she said,
What's this aunt's name?
Aunt Margaret Hall. You know, she's everything, man. You know, and she saw what I was doing. She admired what I was doing, and she said, you know what? Come back to New York. I'll pay for you to go to barber school, and you can stay with me.
Really?
Yeah. So my intentions were to, you know, come back to New York, go to barber school, and then get my license and go back to North Carolina and show these guys this is what I'm doing, you know.
Right.
But I was only making $3 a cut going from house to house, you know. And when I got here, I was making some good money, man.
So when you got here, were you old enough to go to school?
Yeah. I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what the name of that school?
That was Atlas Barber School.
Yeah.
At the time, that was the only barber school in the state of New York, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody out there who, you know, is at my age, you know what I'm saying, I know you remember Atlas Barber School if you're a barber. But
Leo was the owner's name.
Leo was the owner's name, that's right. And Matty was his partner, you know. And but you know, Kay, that's when we were young and sexy.
Yeah.
Now we just sexy. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I'm gonna steal that one.
That's all good. But yeah, man, you know, she brought me up here. I worked in the I went to the barber school, and Robert Bobby Flowers from Superstar Barbershop came in one day and he said, "Hey man, you guys wanna cut hair in the barbershop?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" You know. So I went to the barbershop the next day, well, the day he told me to come. And actually dropped out of barber school, you know, because he had whispered in my ear and told me a secret, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Is
I
it
didn't know
still a
that.
secret to this day?
Well, it's not a secret, but you know, he said, "Well, you know, you don't have to go to barber school to get your license, right?" I said, "What?" You know, because I guess he just wanted me to work full time all the time, you know.
But it's true in New York.
Yeah, it's true. And he helped me get my license.
He apprenticed you.
Right, exactly. And eventually, you know, I went on to get my master's. But going back to, you know, North Carolina, and the reason that I was so afraid to tell people that I was a barber is because this beautiful woman that I liked and adored so much, she kind of shunned me a little bit because of what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of threw me off. And I came to New York and I blew up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever happened to that girl?
I blew up. And check it out. I went back down there one year for my family reunion. And I went somewhere and I saw her. And I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, we reminiscing a little bit. And she asked me, she said, what are you doing later? I said, well, I don't know. I'm probably going to just be with the family, you know. And she said, well, pick me up from my job. Maybe we can go have lunch or something, you know. I said, well, I'm down here with my family, you know what I'm saying? And I might not be able to get away, but in case I am, where do you work? She said, I'm over at Kmart at the mall. I was compelled. I had to ask her a question. Oh, you going to work at Kmart for the rest of your life?
Oh.
So I had to, baby. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, sometimes
I'm not
it's
a
good to be
vindictive
petty.
person. I'm not a vindictive person or a petty person. But she said, wow, I heard those words before. So just for you guys out there, man, just remember, keep your words soft and sweet because you might have to eat them one day. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to eat nothing too hard. Trust me.
So, Superstar Barbershop, where was it located?
Superstar Barbershop was on 350 West 124th Street, which is Hancock Place. And once Bob passed away when he was at the age of 50, and I was left to run the shop. Young cat, not knowing anything about anything. It was a preparation for me, though, for the future. And I know God don't give you more than what you can chew. You know what I'm saying? So when he passed away, I took over the shop. I ran the shop and everything. And the building caught fire, and they eventually put us out. So there was so much that Bob instilled in me about being a barber as opposed to just a hair cutter. He created a barber in me, you know, and that I'm totally grateful because I've been in 4 barbershops in 39 years.
Right.
I know barbers who've been in 39 barbershops in 4 years.
Yes.
This is facts, you know.
Yes.
And he taught me how to take care of my clients and how to nourish them and make sure their hair was straight and everything was good. Because you know people losing hair, you're not gonna have customers long, you know. So he just taught me the fundamentals,
Right.
you know, of being a real true barber.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons when I opened Denny Moe's Superstar Barbershop, I took the name Superstar because it meant so much to me.
Right.
Because
As
he
an
meant so
ode
much
to
me.
your teacher.
Absolutely. He was like the father that I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of history. You know, I worked with him he passed away, I think, in my 7th or 8th year of working with him, but I had Superstar for about 12 years.
Right.
You know, and then once we shut down, you know, I just made it my business to, you know, stay focused, and that's when I came to work for Levels. You know?
We'll get to that in a minute. What I want to ask you, Denny Moe, is how much of your talent was God-given and how much did you get from your teachers or mentors? On a scale of maybe like 80, 20, or, you know.
I think my skill level, honestly, was about, I want to say about 80-20.
80 gift and 20 learn.
80 gift, 20, 80 gift and 20 nurtured because I thought I was the man. I really did. I was really good. And I have a whole lot of people could attest to that. But when I saw Bob Flowers swing those clippers, man, if you ever seen a cowboy swing a rope, man, I saw something from him that I've never seen before. You know, he cut a head of hair, and it was so precise. It was so sharp and even, and you know, that's when he introduced to me the blowout and all that. You know what I mean? And man, Bob was the man. Bob, he cut his ass off, and then we were so smooth together because we were a team. You know, if he saw something, he wouldn't walk over and say, "Hey man, cut it down over here, or cut it over here, or lift it neckline straight or not straight or what." He never did that. Mm-hmm. He would look at me because before I would finish a cut, I would look at him, and he would make gestures with his finger on his head where I should look at.
Right.
And then he also taught me, whenever you're looking at stuff and you can't see certain things, I would walk all the way back to the bathroom like I had to go to the bathroom, and I would look at the head walking all the way back up. The whole time I'm walking up, I'm looking at the head to see, you know, where the imperfections were, you know. And I've inherited that, and my son works with me now, you know what I'm saying? And I swear, man, I just thought this boy was gonna put me out of business, man. you know, you know. But I took that same nurturing from Bob and gave it to my son, and we have nonverbal commands as well. You know what I'm saying? I tell him, take a walk. You know, that means go look at your haircut.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if he's got a little higher on the top, I'll put my hand in the direction where I think it's high at, and you know, because afros are strange because you can be cutting, like if you're not looking at it at the right angle, you can be cutting from front to back, and the back could be so much higher, and that's what you're seeing. That's the silhouette you're seeing.
Right.
You're not seeing the front, and you lift the head up, and the front is mad low.
Yeah, it's really
and it's
three-dimensional.
Right, and the left side is low, and the right side is high. But when you hold his head down, the left side on the back is high, and it's just a lot.
Right.
You know, so he's the man right now. I just sent him to do his second celebrity cut.
Oh, we segue right into where I want to go. That was the next question.
Yeah, man. I sent him to go cut Johnny Gill. I got a call from Johnny Gill, and Johnny Gill said, "Man, you taught that boy well, man."
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I know he meant
I was
that.
pleased. Oh yeah, because Johnny, forgive me for saying this, man, but he's a stickler, man. You know, he's a
perfectionist.
Him and Michael Bivins.
Oh yeah, I cut Michael Bivins' hair one time.
And yo, Mike, if you out there,
Michael be looking at his line.
Oh man,
he want his line sharp and straight.
Mike start rubbing that line like he gonna grow some hair real quick.
Yeah, he want to make sure none of that hair gets out of line.
That's right. You know.
So in regards to celebrity barber, tell me 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
How did you become a celebrity barber? Who was your first client? And what has that portion of your career done for you, changed you?
First client, Doug E. Fresh. And, not to get into a whole lot, but I'll tell you a little story about that. I was cutting this guy hair. His name is Doug Davis. I was cutting his hair, here and there. I noticed he coming with a little entourage every now and then, 3 or 4 guys, hanging around, kicking it, talking junk. And they was telling me, Dougie Fresh is going to be at the Fever. Dougie Fresh is going to be at the Fever. So I'm like, that's when the show was out and all that. He was hot. So I said, I'm going to go to the Fever and check out Dougie Fresh tonight, So I get there, and I see Doug Davis on the stage. So I'm thinking he's going to introduce Dougie Fresh. Come to find out, he's Dougie Fresh. I'm like, dude, you couldn't tell me you were Dougie Fresh, man, all this time. You got the hottest record, the #1 pick hit on the radio, and here I am cutting your hair, and I'm the man, and you the man, and we just doing what we do. You couldn't tell me that, man. So.
What did he say? That's interesting.
He was like, I thought you knew. He said, nah, because, certain people treat me a certain way when they know who I am. But you treated me that way from the door. So I assumed that you knew who I was.
Oh, makes sense.
So I was like, nah, this is just the way I am. This is Superstar Barbershop.
Right.
And everybody's a superstar in here, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So
we treat you like a superstar. So we just laughed about it. We still laugh about it to this day, And
he still got his hair.
He still got his hair. That's right.
He got
That's
miracle
right.
hands.
Dougie was my first, man. He was my first one that actually took me on the road with him, and he wasn't great pay, but it was a great experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to be backstage and be a part of the in crowd. You know what I mean? Not the audience. And I've been in the audience a lot, but Dougie, he was my first cut, celebrity cut. And after that, man, it was they just came, man.
How did it spiral from there? Was it referrals from Dougie Fresh, or was it referrals just in the street in Harlem? And
well, believe it or not, I don't remember any referrals from Dougie, to be totally honest with you. Mm-hmm. How it happened was, I was around a lot of promoters that did things, did a lot of promotions, and they know celebrities. They know a lot of celebrities. So I get a call from Dapper Dan. Dapper Dan's a celebrity.
Yes.
I get the call from Dapper Dan. Hey, D, got somebody want to talk to you. All right, cool. Put him on the phone. Hey, man, how much you charge for haircuts? I said, if I come to you, $200. If you come to me, 50. He said, you can come to me, man. You can come to me. I said, who is this? It's Mike Tyson, man. It's Mike Tyson. You know? So I'm like, wow, Mike, you for real? You shitting me, man? For real? So he's like, this is me, man. Come on down, cut my hair. So I went down to Dapper Dan's, man, and, you know, I met Mike Tyson, met Don King, you know, and
Did you cut Don King's hair?
I didn't cut Don, man. I don't even know if Don got a barber. You know, if he do, he got a blind barber.
Right.
I don't know.
He just pushed it up.
Right. So I cut Mike's hair, gave him some really good cuts, and one day I seen him, because everybody was knowing I was cutting his hair at that point, and then I seen him getting in the ring one day with a bald spot. And I was like, what the hell happened to you, Mike? He said, I had to go to the barber, and I got up. You know how I be getting up in your, because, you know, Mike, he jumps up out the chair when he's talking. You know, everything is exciting to him,
right.
You know. So he's like, jumped up out of the chair, man. I thought it was you, man. I thought it was you. It wasn't you. You know what to do when I jump out of the chair, you know. So I was like, damn. But anyway, I went on to, I'm responsible for his daughter. I can say that. I introduced him to his daughter's mother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
A matchmaker. That
You know,
happens in the barbershop.
Michael Tyson out there, you know, that's my girl. She's, I love her to life, you know. But, yeah, I introduced him to his wife. And Keith Sweat came in, you know, that's my boy.
Keith Sweat was a local guy,
He lived right down the block in the projects, right? The
Right.
Grant Projects. Was it 1095? What's that cross street? 1295?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So he came in the barbershop with his manager. You know, his manager's, you know, he all the student, this and that, you know. So he says, how long is the wait? I said, probably about 2 hours, you know, 4 hours, something like that. So he left out and came back. And 2 hours later, he realized Keith was still sitting there waiting. He said, yo, man, what's going on, man? You got celebrity in the barbershop, man. You got to take better care of him than that, man. I told him, I said, listen, man, this is an all-star barbershop. Somebody got to wait, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he said, you going to wait here, man? He said, yeah, I'm going to chill. He goes across the street to the other barbershop, get his hair cut. He comes back. Keith's just getting in the chair.
Right.
Right? So he goes on and on telling me what he got going on and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And at the time, I heard the songs, but I didn't know who it was. You know, I was one of those guys, you know?
Right.
So I heard all the songs, but I didn't know who he was. But I knew who he was because he's my boy. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know he had, you know, crossed over.
Another Dougie Fresh
Right,
thing.
exactly. You know, got I Wanna, you know, see you
Love
last
that, love
night,
that, love
saw
those
you
songs.
standing there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All that was on the radio.
Wow.
So I honestly didn't think I was going to see him again
Because of that issue?
because of that
Okay.
issue. 2 weeks later, he come walking through the door singing, merry go round and around. You know what I'm saying? So everything stops, everybody looking and everything. And I was like, yo, man, I didn't think I was ever going to see you again, man. You waited 4 hours last time, man. He said, yo, my girl told me, man, whoever I went to the last time, go back to him, man, because you laced me, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that was the start of it, man.
Right. Who's your closest client that became more than a client that's a celebrity? Is it Keith Sweat?
Yeah, it is. It is. Keith is my dude. Keith, he wasn't able to make it to my mom's funeral. My mom passed away last Thanksgiving, and he sent his family, and they mourned with me. And when his mother passed away, I went down. I was actually a pallbearer, you know.
Wow.
So we're like brothers, man. You know,
Yeah.
we get up, we on the phone, we talk, we mess around a little bit here and there. When I get off the phone, before we get off the phone, yo, love you, man, love you back, and you know, stuff like that. So Keith has taken me. Dougie Fresh took me on my first experience.
Right.
Keith Sweat took me around the world.
Wow.
You know, twice. You
Wow.
know, we've been everywhere from Asia to Africa. You know, and everywhere in between. He is a stand-up guy. He's a genuine guy. You know, you're either gonna love him or you're gonna hate him. You know,
Right.
ain't no in between. You
Right.
know, and yeah, like I said, we still talk all the time to this day. I was with Keith for over 25 years. You know,
Wow.
and man, it's been great. It's been really, really good. From Keith spawned Bobby Brown. From Bobby spawned Johnny. From Keith spawned Gerald Levert, which is an amazing soul. You know, I met him, and me and him hit it off like crazy. You know, and the funny thing is, people say, you know, I like being around the celebrity guys. You know, I love it. You know what I mean? And but they felt like they were around the celebrity barber.
You are.
You know what I'm saying? And they treated me as such, and it was so amazing because I treated them like they were celebrities, and they treated me like I was a celebrity. And to me, I don't feel like a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? But I get it.
Well, you've transformed from a celebrity barber to a barber celebrity in my eyes, which means that you're a celebrity to the barbers that look up to you and what you've accomplished.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. I mean, a friend of mine told me, said, you got great players and you got people that play great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm a great player.
Both. Both.
You know?
One thing, when I watched the New Edition documentary, the movie, it was a great movie. I was like, in that little part when Bobby Brown and they of course it's a movie and they got to write a play, and they made it seem like the barber made a mistake, and I know it wasn't a mistake,
Right.
and I know that Gumby's were in style. I was cutting it, you were cutting it, and I know that barbers help create the image of the celebrities.
That's right.
So tell me how it came about for you to give Bobby Brown that Gumby. And of course, it didn't happen by accident, but just explain that cut. And did he ask for it, or do you suggest it? Because also he's from Boston, and that's kind of something that was going on. Like it was going on in the
Shags
Northeast
and everything else.
Philly, and yeah, they had shags when they were young. So Philly and New York were doing those Gumby. So tell me about that Gumby cut with Bobby Brown and straighten it out for those people who don't know.
All right, for y'all who don't know, it was not a mistake. It wasn't planned, but it wasn't a mistake. And this is what happened. He had a bunch of guys in the hotel room. Me and Bobby's in the bathroom of the hotel room. Bobby's getting his hair cut. He has an afro at the point. And he says, cut it down. Cut it down, I want to get waves. I said, you sure? He said, yeah, because me, I'm like this, when you're a celebrity, you get a drastic haircut, something different, you changing your whole whole style, you reinventing yourself. So I said, you sure you want to cut it all the way down? He said, yeah. And like Mike Tyson, he used to jump up, run in the room, get a little laugh, and come back, sit down. You know what I'm saying? So he just kept running back and forth. So I said, I finally put the cape around him, said, all right, cool. You sure you want to cut down? And I cut it down, cut one side of it down, and he jumped up again. And he went back to doing his little antics with his boys, and he came back to sit down, and he looked in the mirror. He said, yo, I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Yo, kind of slope it, man. Kind of slope it a little bit. Let's just see what it looked like. I said, what? You serious? He said, yeah, just slope it. Let me see what it looked like. So I sloped it, and there was your Gumby.
Right.
And he made a decision that day to keep it.
Right.
Because we were going to just cut it down, all the way down to a Caesar, And he made the decision that day to keep it. The decision was his, and that's how the Gumby came about.
So there you guys have it, the true story of how Bobby Brown got his Gumby.
There you go.
Just run off a list of maybe some of the people that you've cut, just to give people an idea. It don't have to be everybody, but you could just run off a list.
Keith Sweat, Bobby Brown, all of New Edition, Teddy Riley, Freddie Jackson, Eddie Murphy, Lou Rawls, Muhammad Ali. No, not Ali. I'm sorry, Joe Frazier. Wow, the list goes on, man.
Orange Juice Jones.
Orange Juice Jones, you know what I'm saying? Orange Juice, he's the one that said, man, baby, if Denny Moe don't give it to you, you don't need it. That's what it is. But yeah, man, I mean, basketball, actors, football, all the sports. So many, man. Right. So many.
Was there any time that you felt nervous or unsure, or you just felt uneasy around a particular celebrity?
You know what? Uneasy. No, you know what? Only thing that could make me feel uneasy is if I know that whatever I'm doing, I'm not going to be great at, And I don't think that any one of them ever made me feel uneasy because I knew what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And you can't take that from me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I knew that I was gonna enhance their appearance.
Right.
You know, and if, like I said, if it was something like I had to curl somebody's hair or something like that, I would have done it, but that would have made me uneasy.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have known. See, if you call me for a haircut, I know what I can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I know what I can do. So, and I'm gonna do it well. Right. But other than that, I don't think there's anybody that ever made me uneasy. There's been people who I said that I would never cut again. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because
would you care to name and why? Maybe an example.
Well, it was just that they was too, like I said, meticulous. They don't know what they want. Mm-hmm. You know, and no matter what you give them, it ain't right. Mm-hmm. So I cut their hair one time. I'm not gonna say his name, but I cut his hair one time, and I did what I wanted to do. He told me what to do, but I did what I wanted to do, and I had no problem. It came out perfect. And he's like, "Yo, man, that's what I'm talking about. This that I'm talking about. You do it like this every time." But every time he sat down afterwards, he would tell me what he wanted me to do, verbatim. Mm-hmm. I can't work like that. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm doing. You know?
It's time to take your suggestion.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I will tell you one of the things, man. Keith Sweat. I mean, I'm the type of person. You call me at 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I roll out the bed and do what I do because this is easy for me. This is like breathing. You know what I'm saying? But Keith Sweat, man, he's not hard because he's fun. You know what I'm saying? But he's a clown. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to his haircut, I'll cut his hair for about 20, 25, 35, 40 minutes. And he'll take the comb, and comb it backwards. And look in the mirror and say, "Yo, get them ends from sticking up." So,
and not knowing every time you go through your hair with a comb that there's going to be ends sticking
right,
up.
Exactly. So I take the comb and comb it forward, and I tell him I got rid of the ends.
Go ahead. You was talking about Keith Sweat, and we went through the Bobby Brown.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you guys, man, you just understand, all right? Why out here in Barber World TV land, man. Listen to this, man. A lot of guys come to me and say, "Yo, how could I be a celebrity barber? How could I do the things you do? How could I travel the world like you do?" And I'm just gonna be a little harsh right now. Right?
Okay.
Who the fuck are you? You understand? You have to become somebody. You have to be someone. Celebrities like grandeur. So do we, you know, but they can obtain it a little faster than we can. And these guys at the state in their life where they can get the best woman, the best house, the best cars, the best planes, the best boats, everything. And they want the best barbers too. All right? So you have to be somebody. You have to become someone. I've listened to guys backstage at major arenas say, "Man, nigga, I got Denny Moe rolling with me. Who you got? Nigga? Who cutting your shit?" You know what I'm saying? And that felt good, man. It felt good. You know what I'm saying? You have to become somebody. You have to brand yourself. And branding is an art as well, you know, because it's about consistency. If you don't have a consistent life, you're not going to be able to embark on consistency. So try consistency because consistency works. It works, and it'll take you places that you never thought you would be able to go. You know, just constantly banging. You know, if you got a hammer on a nail and you constantly banging, it's going to get down sooner or later. You're going to put it all the way down sooner or later. And that's what it's all about. You know, Denny Moe's Superstar Barbershop, I had no plans on opening up a barbershop. If I could have, I'd have been rolling with Zoe for as long as I could because the simple fact that I'm a creature of habit. You know what I'm saying? You put me in one space, I'm good, you know? But God saw fit that he wanted me to travel. He wanted me to see things, see the world, you know, change some of my views, grow. and being able to roll with certain celebrities and being around these people and them wanting me, them summoning me, to be a part of their grandeur, their lifestyle, it was amazing. You know, like I said, if you can get out there and you go out there and you be with these guys, always learn another craft. You know what I'm saying? Because I went out on the road for years doing hair. And then I went out on another tour for years doing security. So I learned my security trade, and I wasn't homeboy security. I educated myself. I became an executive protection specialist. My concentration was evacuation and non-confrontation, threat assessment and threat analogy. You know what I'm saying? So everything you do, you try to take to another level, because it's the simple fact that in order to be somebody, you got to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. Denny Moe.
And one thing I wanted to say about Denny Moe too is, like, working with you for years, I noticed like you have like a signature look to your cuts. And not all barbers have that. Even when you're cutting different people's hair, different textures, different shapes of heads, it's like you would say, yo, that's a Denny Moe cut. If you had to guess, you could probably guess, nah, Denny Moe cut that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's because of your skill level or it's just, I don't know. It's like somebody bring you a cake and you be like, I know so-and-so made this cake.
That's right.
I could taste it. And that's you know what I'm saying? The richness or the smoothness or the butter or whatever it is. That's how I saw your haircuts. Mm. Always saying, wow, Denny Moe has a signature haircut. And it's not many people that I could say that about.
It's funny that you say that, because not too long ago, a guy came in the barbershop and he said, yo, I got on the plane last week and I was freaking out, D-Mo. I said, what happened? He said, yo, I sat down and the girl behind me leaned over, tapped me on my shoulder and said, is that a Denny Moe special? He said he almost lost it on the plane, dude. And I thought it was dope too, you know what I'm saying, just hearing that. But, my thing is, man, you have to be a tailor. You have to, and this is what Bob, this where Bob comes in again, you know what I'm saying? Bob Flowers, my mentor, he said, if you don't know what a haircut is supposed to look like, you can't get it right. And I live with that all my life, because my whole walk was looking at people's haircuts. Some people might even thought I was gay looking at them. You know what I'm saying?
Most barbers do that. We can't help it.
Right, exactly. So, I go around and I look at haircuts and I look at, black, white, Spanish, Chinese, Indian. I look at everybody, and I believe you should be a tailor, man. I believe you should. I'm going to give you a Keizo haircut and I'm going to give Larry a Larry haircut, because the simple fact that you're two different people. You're two different individuals. Right. I've had people say to me, yo, cut me just like that guy that just got out of your chair. And the guy that got out of my chair might have an elongated face, and this guy might have a round head. Right. I know what I have to do there. I don't have to say, well, guy, your head is shaped different from his and this and that. I don't have to say that. Right. I know what to give him, to fit him.
Yeah, make him feel like he got that same haircut.
And it's going to be his. I don't want you to go home and people say, oh, there's something different about you. I want them to be like, oh, that's a mean cut. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the extent of it, man. Just building yourself up, building your clientele, and being somebody.
Now let's just have a little fun too before we wrap it up. I know I had you here for a long time.
Good.
What's the weirdest experience you've had or you've seen happen, not necessarily to you, in the barbershop?
Weirdest experience. As far as haircuts or anything going on inside the barbershop?
Yeah, it could be someone that didn't even get a haircut, but it's just something that happened in the barbershop, or it could be a client or someone else's client.
Well, I don't run into a whole lot of weird stuff. Nah, not really, man. I mean, I run a tight ship, man. Even when I was here, I didn't see a whole lot of crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay,
but, I have customers that are just ridiculous. I got one guy. who comes in drunk.
All the time, or he just this
The
time?
majority.
Okay.
And because his brother, and he can't get over it. You know, his brother hit on his wife. And he can't get over it. So he tells me to play a song every time he comes to the barbershop. So the first time I played it, he sat in the chair singing the song and crying at the same time. OJ's, How Can You Call Me Brother? How can you call me brother? And he's sitting in the chair singing the whole time. And after that, you know, the whole barbershop be just cracking up, you know, the whole time. And he can't sit still because he's sweating and he's singing and he's crying.
And he that's his therapy when he comes
that's
to the
his therapy.
barbershop.
So he came in again. He asked me, "Yo, D, play that song for me, man. Play that song for me, man. I pay you. I said, "Man, I'm not playing that song." I said, "Everybody listen to what they listening to. You can't come in here and change stuff every time you come in here."
Right.
So he said, "Man, listen, I give you $100, man. Play that song." I played that song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking about $100, what's the most money you've ever been paid for a haircut?
The most I've ever been paid for a haircut was one single haircut, right?
Yeah.
About $3,000.
$3,000.
Yeah.
And that was by whom, if you don't care?
That was by several people. Keith Sweat, Silk, Gerald Levert, who else? Montel Jordan.
Wow. Is this on tour? Is this going to the hotel?
No, this was actually for video shoots.
Okay.
You know,
Like a day rate.
A day rate, right? My day rate was $1,500 a day. For 10 hours, anything over 10 hours was $100 an hour. Up to 6 hours is considered another day. I work with some of the best makeup artists, some of the best clothing stylists. And I can honestly say I've been on probably more tours than the average artist and probably sold more albums than the average artist. you know, because you guys got to understand, man, when you cut these people hair for these album covers and these pictorials and these magazines, you're helping to sell those magazines. You're helping to sell those album covers, you know? And I take pride in that, man. Keith Sweat sold over 30 million albums. Gerald Levert sold millions, and Bobby Brown sold millions. And, you know, I cut Bobby Brown for his wedding, man, you know, and that was like the best thing to me, you know, being able to do that. These Clippers have taken me in doors that I would have never gone into any other time, or if I didn't have them. Maybe I would have went in with something else, but I can honestly say I remember sitting in the back of the bus, coming from school. School was ending. I'm listening to everybody say, "I'm going to my uncle's house in D.C." This is all in North Carolina. I'm going to my uncle's house in D.C. to do an internship. I'm going to work with my father. I'm going to work with my uncle. I'm going over here. I'm going to Philly. I'm going to everywhere. And I'm sitting in the back of the bus, man, like, wow, what the hell am I going to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was that night that was the party that I was going to. It was actually a officer's ball. I was in the ROTC, you know. And I went home and found those Clippers, man, and that's what I wound up doing. These Clippers put my family through school, my wife through school, my kids through school. Nobody in my family has seen the inside of a public school. Not to say that public schools are bad or anything, but they all were able to go to parochial school. Since I picked up my Clippers, I don't think I've wanted for anything.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't need for anything. I'm always want, but
I always tell people that being a barber is liberating.
Oh man, it really is, because you can be who you want to be, however you want to be, when you want to be. I used to tell all my barbers, you know, everybody want to go get second jobs and this and that. I said, listen, man, come in, build your clientele. You doing good, you come in late and leave early. You doing bad, you come in early and leave late.
Right.
You know, it's just that simple.
Right.
You know, this job can be, the barbershop can be your first job and your second job, you know.
What's the difference between being a barber and then being a shop owner or a business owner? The big differences.
Yes, it's a difference. The difference is, you know, being a barber, you still have to be a businessman. If you take your craft serious, you still have to be a businessman. But all you have to do is pack up your stuff and leave. You know, but when you are a shop owner, you have to stick around now because you can't just leave irresponsible people to be responsible. You know, and everybody who's a barber is just not responsible. Right. You know, and they're not going to take care of yours like you're going to take care of it. You know that, like I know that. You know, these guys, they pull the gate down and the chain jump off and they want to leave it like it is, and you know, it's just a lot. So you have to take care of your business. That's the bottom line. You know, I tell people all the time, it's not hard to open a business, but it's hard to keep it. Right. You know, and keep it good. And my barbershop is named Denny Moe's, and there's only one Denny Moe. You know what I mean? So I have to be there. I have to be the atmosphere of Denny Moe's. I have to be that. You
are the brand.
I am the brand, right? So, you know, just like Sylvia's. You know, everybody's like, "Why you only got one Denny Moe's?" I said it was only one Sylvia's. Yeah. You know, she did her thing. You know, but nah, I plan on maybe someday, you know, sitting down with Keizo, and you might know him. You know what I'm saying? I'll sit down with Keizo so he can, you know, enlighten me and, you know, tell me how to go about that. You know,
no problem.
A lot of things I need to, you know, embark on.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's right. There you go. And hey, man, I'm a Harlem American. You know, no matter what. And I appreciate you having me on here today. And I had fun. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to kick it and break bread with my boy. You know, we got to do that. We got to definitely go and break some bread, man, and kick it. Anything
coming up on your schedule?
Well, I'm doing the judging for a barber battle, Concrete Jungle, out in Brooklyn on the 23rd. And what else? You know, I just turned over a new leaf too. I'm a newly found photographer.
That's right.
Know, opened up Denny Moe's Media House. I'm a firm believer in turning a passion into a paycheck. I got that from Keizo.
one thing we skipped over. Tell us real quickly. I know we're running out of tape and everything. Cutting for a Cure. We didn't touch on.
Oh man, wow. How do we do that? Right?
I don't know.
Cutting for a Cure is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We advocate and educate on treatable and curable diseases. Our motto is early detection and prevention is the cure. We put on Cutting for a Cure Incorporated puts on an event biannually, a haircutting marathon, 48 hours. We have barbers come from all over the world, you know, well-known barbers come from all over the world to cut hair for 48 hours nonstop. And they volunteer their time. They volunteer their energy. And this goes on from Friday to Sunday. And, you know, that's their money days, you know. So I honestly call these guys the barbers with the carrying clippers, right. You know, because they don't have to be there. And they don't have to be there for 48 hours. But, you know, it's not like we have shifts. It's a marathon. These guys are out there the whole time from Friday, 8 o'clock, to Sunday, 8 o'clock a.m.
Wow.
8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock a.m. We have health screenings, prostate, colon cancer, breast cancer, diabetes, cholesterol, hypertension, the whole nine. Right? It's a big old triage out there. And you come in and you get tested, you get screened for all these diseases. And the biggest thing is, you know, a lot of these guys, they got their grants. They have grants to, you know, have people screened for this and for that and so forth and so on. But it's not about that. You know, it's about follow-ups because, you know, I talk to my people and their biggest concern was, hey, Demo, once I find out something's wrong with me, what do I do now? You know, because I don't have the insurance. I don't have this or that, you know. And some people don't have adequate insurance to be able to follow through with what they have to do. So I make sure when I sit down with the hospitals and the clinics and the, you know, the healthcare professionals, I put in place a follow-up system that they have at least 3 to 5 follow-ups after they get tested.
Wow.
Because you're not going to come in, first of all, and not give me any money to support this situation.
Right.
You can take care of my people.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And the reason we do it biannually is because I do it out of my pocket, you know, and it takes me about a year to recuperate just to give it right back, you know.
Right.
But, yeah, cutting for a cure is an amazing thing, man. And I've had people come to me and say, D-Mo, you saved my life.
Wow.
And if I only had one person to do that, job well done, mission accomplished. And Denny Moe Superstar Barbershop, saving people's lives one haircut at a time.
Right. In closing, anything else you'd like to say, and where can they contact you?
Well, you can contact me at Denny Moe Superstar Barbershop. It's 212-690-0015. That's 212-690-0015. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Denny Moe, Twitter, Denny Moe.
Just went off.
That's cool. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Thanks, D.
Good stuff. It just felt good, man.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
I'm still perfecting it.
Hey, man.